YouTubers, welcome back to the Hobbit book reading series. Yes, this was delayed today because something in real life came up. Sorry if I'm a little sniffly. Pollen. And as I've been the fishiest. So, obviously pollen got stuck in nose. Brilliant. Anyway, chapter 13, Night at Home. In the meanwhile, the doses sat in darkness, or not just silence. Little about them. Little they ate, little they spoke. They could not count the passing of time, and they scarcely dared to move, for the whisper of their voices echoed or whistled in the tunnel. As they dozed, they looked still to darkness, and silence going on unbroken. At last, after days and days away, as it seemed, when they were becoming choked on days of want of air, they could bear it no longer. They would almost have welcome sounds from them from below the dragon's return. In the silence they feared some cunning deliberately of his. But they could not sit there forever. William spoke. "Let's try the door," he said. "I feel the wind on my face. Soon or die. I think I would rather must by smoke and open and suffocate in here." So several of the dozers got up and looked back to where the door had been. But they found that the upper end of the tunnel had been shattered and blocked broken rock. The key, no magic that once obeyed, will never open that door again. "We are trapped," they groaned. "This is the end. We shall die here." Then somehow, just when the dozers were most despairing, Bill found a strange sign in the heart, as if a heavy weight had gone from under his waistcoat. Come," he said. "Well, there is life, there is hope." So I used to say. "And third time pays for all. I'm going down that tunnel once again. I've been that eighth place when I knew there was a dragon on the other end. But I visit that desert when I'm no longer sure." Anyway, the only way out is down. And after this time, you better all come with me. In desperation, they all agreed. And Florian was the first to go forwards, but people say. "Now do be careful," whispered the hobbit. "And as quiet as you can be. There may be no smoke at the bottom. But then again, there might be." "Don't let us take any unnecessary risks." Down they went. The dozers could not, of course, compare with having real stuff. And the rate of deal, puffing and shuffling, was Legos magnified, alarming. But though then again, Bill and Freya stopped and listened. And the sound stirred below. Near the bottom, so as he could judge, Bibble slipped on his ring and went ahead. But he did not near. The darkness was complete. The realm invisible. Rain or no rain. In fact, so black it was that the hobbit came open unexpectedly. Put his hand on the air, coming forward, rolled headlong into the hall. There he lay, face downwards on the floor, and did not dare to get up, hardly even to breathe. And nothing moved. There was not a gleam of light, unless it seemed to him. But nonetheless, he slowly raised his head. There was a pale white gleam above him, and far down the gloom. But certainly it was not the spark of dragon fire, though the warm stench was heavy in the place, and the ace of vapor was on his tongue. The name Mr. Baggins could hear no longer. Confounded! You smug, you warn, he squeaked aloud. Stop playing! Hands leak. Give me a light, and don't eat me if you catch me. Faint echoes. I ran the unseen hall, but it was no answer. He both got up. Mountain, he did not know in what direction to turn. No, wonder what if smoke is blowing out, he said. He is not at home today or tonight. But whatever it is, I do believe. I ain't going. I've not lost the cleaning the boxes. Last week I made a little late. Never looking around before the left turns. Lights! He cried. Can anyone make a light? The doses, of course, were very alarmed. They fell forward, down the step, with a bump into the hall. And they sat huddled, just where he had left them at the end of the tunnel. Shh, shh, they hissed. I heard his voice. I know that helped the hobbit to find out where they were. It was some time before you could get anything else out of them. But in the end, Bibble actually had a stamp on the floor and screamed out loud at the top of his shrill voice. The one gave way, and Nolan and Gordon were sent back to their bundles at the top of the tunnel. After a while, three gleams showed them returning. Ryan, with a small pipe towards the light in his hand, and Golden, a bundle of others under his arm. It played Bibble, trotted to the door, and took the torch. And he could not persuade the doses to light the others, or to come and join him yet. As Warren carefully explained, Mr. Baggins was still officially the expert burglar investigator. He liked it on the skylight, that was his fare. They were waiting in the tunnel for his report, so they sat near the door and watched. They saw the low dark shape of the hobbit running across the floor, holding his tiny light aloft. Every now and again, when it was still near enough, he caught the glint and tingle as it fell on some golden thing. The light grew smaller, so he wandered way into the vessel. Then he began to light dancing into the air. The boat was climbing the great mountain of treasure. Soon he stood upon the top and still went on. Then they saw him halt and stood for a moment, but they did not know the reason. It was the inking stone. The heart of the man. So Bibble guessed from Florence' description. Indeed, there could not be two such gems, even in some marvels of hold, even in all the world. However, as he climbed, a saintly gleam shone before him, and John's feet towards it. Only he grew to a little globe of light. Now as he came near, his tinglets tinged with a tickling sparkle of many colors at the surface, reflected and scintillated on the wavering light of his torch. Alas, he looked down upon it and caught his breath. A great jewel shone before his feet of his own inner light, and yet, fashioned by the doses, were dug from the Harlan Mountain long ago. It took all light that fell upon it and changed it into 1,000 sparkles of white, radiant, shot with glints of the rainbow. Suddenly, Bibble's arm leaned towards it, drawing by in its enchantment. His small hand would not close the bed, for it was a large heavy gem, but he lifted it, shut his eyes, and put it in his deepest pocket. Now I am a burglar indeed, thought he. I suppose I must tell the Dorses about it sometime. They did say I could pick and choose my own share, and I think I would choose this, and they took all the rest. All the same, he had an uncomfortable feeling that picking and choosing had not. Well, he meant to include this marvelous gem, and that trouble would yet come out of it. Now he went on again, down the other side of the great mount he climbed, and the spark of his torch vanished from the sight of what's indoors this. And soon they saw it far away in the distance again. Bibble was crossing the whole floor of the hall. He went on till he came to the great doors on the third side, and there it dropped and refreshed him, for the nose puffed out his light, and Pete timidly flew. Well, there's the great passages, the dim beginnings of light stairs going up into the gloom, and still there was no sight or sound of smoke. There was this kind of turn and go back, when a black shape swooped at him and brushed his feet. His weak and style, some of the back of his fell. The shorts dropped headwards downwards and went out. Only a bat, I suppose, and hope, he said miserably. Well now, what am I to do? Which is east, south, north, or west? Bullen! Well, land, Bullen, Bullen, Billy, Killy! I cried as loud as he could. Seeing the little faint little noise in the blackness. The light has gone out! One, come and find me and help me. For the moment, his courage had failed altogether. And the Dorses heard his small cries. Although the only way they could cast was help. Neil, what on earth? And under it has happened, the villain. Hunting natural dragon. And when I go on squeaking. I waited a moment or two until there was no dragon noises. Once I had all flashed by Bibble's distant voice. Come! One of you! Get in a light or two! Villain ordered. Seems you have to go and help the beggar. It is about to no help, said Bolin, and I couldn't let him go. Anyway, I suspect it's safe for the moment. Go in! There's 7 more torches, and they all crept out, one by one, and went along the hall as surely as they could. It was not long before they met Bibble himself coming back towards them. Twitter quickly returned, and soon they saw jiggled their lights. Only your bets and drop tools, not the bullets, was an answer to their questions. Though they were much relieved, they inclined to make it up and pray for nothing. But what they would have said if he had told them the moment about the Arcane Stone, I don't know. For me, if you think this is a treasure, was stay caught. They went along, ringing out all the fire that knows his hearts. When I heard the dwarf, even the most respectable is like my golden jewels. They go suddenly bold and may become fish. The doses indeed no longer need any energy. All went out eager to explore the hole while they had a chance. And willing to believe that, for the present, Smoke was away from home. He's now with the lighting torch. They glazed. First on one side, then on another, without fear, even question. Spoke aloud, and cried out to one another. They lifted all treasures from the mount, or from the hole, held them in life, placing them and picketing them. He and Kaylee were almost in merry mood. Fine, then hanging there, mingled the hops, some with silver. They took them and strung them. For me, magical, muzzle untouched by a dragon, and a little interesting music. They were still in tune. The dark hall was filled with a melody that had long been silent. The noise of doses were more practical. They gathered gems and stuffed their pockets, and left what they could not carry, fall back, and fingers with a sigh. When it was Sundays and Mondays, will always eat. Search from side to side for something they could not find. It was the Arcane Stone. They spoke of it yet to no one. Now the Dorses took down mail and weapons from the halls, and armed themselves. Oil, teeth, a foreign look. And a coat of gold-plated rings, a silver half-foot axe, with a belt, busty with scarlet stones. Mr. Baggins, she cried. Here's the first payment of your wood. Cost the vehicle to put on this. With that, he put on Bibble's small coat of mail was for some young elf prince long ago. As of silver steel, with still skull knit through, and within a pearl pearls and crystals. Unlike him, bigger levered, standing beneath. With hooves of steel, and studded about the brim with white gems, and set upon the hobbit's head. I feel magnifique, magnificent, he thought. I suspect I look rather sad. I'll never laugh on the hill home. Still, I wish there was a looking glass handy. All the same, Mr. Baggins kept his head more clear than which man in the hut than Dorses did. And full on, the Dorses were tired of staring at his. And became weary of it and sat down on the floor. Began to wander nervously. What then would all be? I'll give many of these precious couplets, he thought. So drink us something straight out of one of Bian Colin's winning bulls. Women, he cried out loud. What next? We got arms. Oh, what good is I am a woman for against Mother Dreadful. This treasure is not yet won back. We are not looking for gold yet, but if we may escape, we attempt to look for Tornhorn. We'll speak the truth as if all in, coming his wits. Then it's cool, I will get you. Not in a dozen years should I forget the ways of this palace. Bring all $2 and they go together. Only the torches above their heads and pass through the gaping doors. None would have many a blackwood glance at lonely. Their glittering meal, they covered again with their old clothes, the bright hems and tied hoods, and one by one, it was behind falling. Find a little lights in the darkness and halted often, soon in fear, once more, letting him of the dragons coming. Still, all the dormits, along muddled, blood, undestroyed, and the hallway was all be found and blasted with the comings and goings of the monster. I knew every passage and every turn, and crying downstairs, and turned and went down long and went down light, echoing ways, and turned and climbed and yet more stairs and yet more stairs again. These were smooth, cut out of the living rock, bold and fair, and up, the loose as wet. And they met no sign of any living thing, only just shadows. They fled from the plots of their choices, entering the draughts. The steps were not made all the same for hobbit legs. And Bilbo was just feet alone, and he could go on no longer. When suddenly the roof sprang high and far beyond the reach of the torchlight. Like Glimmer could see coming through someone far above, and the air smelt sweeter. Before them light came, and then they forget doors, their hand twisted on the hedges and half bent. This is the glad ship full, said Florian. The whole of feasting of castle. Not full of now is the front gate. I passed for the room chamber. Tables were lying there. Chairs and benches were lying there overturned, tired and decaying. Skulls and bones were upon the floor, on flux and bowls and drinking horns and dust. And I came through the emerald doors at the further end. Sound of water fell upon their ears, and the red light will suddenly muffle. There is the buff of the blind walls that fall in. From here hastens to the gate. Let us follow it. Out of a dark opening in the wall, of rock, there shoots boiling water, and it flows, swirling a narrow channel. Carved it, amazed straight and deep by the cunning of ancient hands. Beside it ran a stone-paved road, wide enough, many men abreast. Slipping along this they ran, and ran a wide sleeping turn, and behold, for them stood the full light of day. In front, there rose a tall arch, here showing the fragments of old cave and look within. Worn and splintered, blackened though it was, a misty sun sent its pale light between the arms of the man. A beams of gold fell on the pavement on the threshold. A row of bats sprang from slumber, and the smoking torches flared over them. They sprang forward, their feet splintered in stones, not smooth and slided by the passing of the dragon. Now before them, the water held noisily outward and foamed down towards the valley. They flung the pale torches to the ground and stood gazing out with dazzled eyes. They were come to the front gate, looking out upon Dale. Well, said Bibble, I never expected to be looking out of this door. I never expected to be so pleased to see the sun again, feel the wind in my face. But hell, this wind is cold. It was a bitter easterly breeze blew with red oncoming winter. I swelled over and ran arms mountain into the valley. I sighted on the rocks after the long time in the swimming depths of the dragon haunted caverns. I shivered in the sun. Suddenly, Bibble realized he was not only tired, but also very hungry indeed. It appears to be late morning, he said. So I suppose it's more or less breakfast time. And there is any breakfast to have. And don't feel that Smoke's front door step. Save a place for the meal. Don't let us go somewhere where we can sit quiet for a bit. Quite right, said Bolin. And I think I know which way that we should go. We ought to make for the old lookout post full of this corner of the mountain. How far is that? Asked Albert. 5 hours, much I should think. It'll be rough going. North from the gate. On the left edge of the stream, things all broken up. Look down here. The river loops on the east. First, they are abandoned in town. On that point, it was once a bridge. Leading to steep stairs and climbed up the left bank. And so to a road running on a sweeping hill. There was above the road, down to the post, a hook line too. Even those steps are still there. Dear me, grumbled the hobbit. No luck in not climbing without breakfast. Wonder how many breakfasts and other meals we have missed. Aside on the nasty clock list time this whole. As a matter of fact, 2 nights in between had gone by. I'm not altogether without food. The dragons messed the main door. But Bibble had quite lost count. It might have been one night or a week with nights for all he could tell. Go! said Fallen, laughing. His spirits had begun to rise again, and now the precious stones in his pockets. Don't call my palace a nasty hole. You wait until it's been cleaned and redecorated. They won't be just the muck state, said Bibble grumpily. Meanwhile, where is he? I'll get a good breakfast too. No. I hope he's not up to imagine looking down at us. That idea stirred the doses mentally, and quickly decided that Bibble and Ball will late. We must move away from here, said Dory. I'll feel once it was eyes were on the back of my head. There's a cold, lonesome place in Bulma. There may be drink, but you can find out. Oh, a dragon will always be hungry in such parts. Come on, cried out Nellers, was full of abundance path. And then the rocky wall to the right, there was no path. On they trudged among the stones on the left side of the river. After this location, some sunlight even falling again. The bits that Bolin spoke of, they found long fallen, and most of the stones were now only boulders and the shallow, noisy stream. But they floated the water without much difficulty, and found ancient steps, and climbed the high bank. As they go on the shore way, they struck the old road, and full on came to a deep dell, sheltered among the rocks. There they rested for a while, and had such a breakfast as they could. Maybe kalam and water. If you want to know what kalam is, I can only say I don't know the recipe. But it's biscuit shit ish tish. He's good and definitely. So space abstaining. And certainly not entertaining. Being in fact very interesting, except as a joint exercise. Okay. It was made by the late man on journeys. After that, they went on again. Another road struck westwards and left the river. The great shoulder, airplane mountain spur drew even the air. At length they reached the hill path and scrambled steeply up, and they plodded slowly one behind another until last in the afternoon they came to the top of the ridge, saw the wintry sun going downwards to the west. Here they found a flat place by the wall on three sides, and met to the north by a rocky face. There was an opening like a door. On that door, there was a wide view east, south, and west. They used to pull it in. On those days, but always they used always to keep watchmen. And that door behind leads into a rock-strewn chamber that was made here to guard the room. There are several places like it around the mountain, but it mean little need was in case of facility. and the guards made over comfortable, perhaps. Otherwise, we might have had along the line of the coming of the dragon. Things might have been different. Still, he can't now. I hid and stood for a while. And pretty much without being seen. Not much use if we had been seen coming here, said Lee. I was always looking up towards the man's peak. I expected small perched there like a bird on a steeple. We must take a chance of that, said Bullet. We can go no further today. He hid, cried Bibble. And falling himself on the ground. In the locked chamber, there would have been room for 100. And there was a small chair further in. Only meal from the cold outside. It was quite deserted. And even without animals, he knew he used it. In all the days of smokes, domination. And they ate their burns, and some fed themselves down at once and slept. But the others needed our door and discussed their plans. In all their talk, they came, but usually. That's one thing. When there was smoke, on the west there was nothing. On the east there was nothing. On the south there was no sign of the dragon, but there was a gathering of many birds. At that they gazed and wondered, but they were no nearer understanding it when the first cold stars came out. Well, and that is chapter 13. Quite short. Next week we're looking at fire and water. Only 4 chapters left. Oh! So we'll see you guys next week for that. Bye.